Hello, everyone. My name is Danny. This review is for the movie called Spike Island. This is a 2012 movie, a little bit older, but that's what I do. I watch older movies I've never seen before. This does not come with a rating, and it runs an hour and 45 minutes. It stars Elliot Tittensor, Nico Miralegro, and Adam Long. The description is five teenage friends will stop at nothing to attend a concert by their favorite band, the Stone Roses. The other note, even though this is a 2012 movie, it was released in the USA in May of 2015. So that might be why it's coming up in my searches now. I get a lot of movies around the 2015 area, but yeah, so it's not so old to some people because maybe they saw it in 2015, but it's actually a 2012 movie. So this is Spike Island. Well, thank you everybody for watching this video. Um, if you would like any bonus content or want to get to know more of me, I have my Facebook page up and running, Danny's Movies and Music. You can find that there. Um, as far as this movie goes, like I kind of knew that it was older, but I didn't think it was like I didn't know what it was about. You know, like you look at the name and you hope it's about volleyball, and you look at the picture and you hope it's about music, and it is, but honestly, like I didn't get out of this what I wanted it to, and even though it's older than some of the movies I'm gonna mention, I still feel like watching this movie that it's copying somebody else's idea. So it might not be copying some of the movies I mentioned because those are newer than Spike Island, but I still feel like it's copying some other movies' ideas. And so this still isn't original even though it's older than some of the movies I might mention. The first thing is that something happens right away at the beginning of the movie, and honestly, this group of five that we get to know throughout the movie, they don't get in trouble for it. And I kind of would have liked this to be more realistic, more common sense filled, where there are still there's still consequences for your actions. The one that comes to mind is the Step Up movie. You know, yes, you can do things, but you still need to clean up, for 4 weeks or something, Um, I just don't get why we can't have a movie make sense where somebody does something and they have to pay for that action. These kids are so above any kind of rules right away at the beginning of the movie, and then they do something drastic for no reason really, and then there's no consequences for it whatsoever. That was the first thing right off the bat. Um, it does have a lot of drugs. It does have a lot of drinking. It does have a lot of language, but in the end of things, I didn't watch this with subtitles or anything like that, so it's just generally hard to understand for people outside of Europe. This is really heavy accents in this movie, really heavy. And I know people around there are used to it. You know, you have an ear for it, but a lot of us, especially in the States and other places, we won't be able to understand what you're saying if you don't get a little bit more clear or talk slower or something. So I kind of understood them when they were singing, but the singing parts were very few, and I would have appreciated more of that. It says it's a musical movie, so that might have helped things, but in the end of things, it's just a hard to understand accent. It's very heavy. It's very murky words together, and it's hard to understand. But it's another movie with younger kids doing drugs, drinking a lot, being above the law, and it's just not very realistic and not very like what I want to see. The good parts of this is that it does have really real family situations. You know, there's some stuff going on with some of these kids and their father. For two of them, we get to know about that situation, and it's sad in both situations. I'll say what they are. One, his dad came from the army, so he wants his son to go into the army, and then the when there's talks about that, or there's talks about being in trouble, or there's defiance by the son to even think about not going in the army, the dad is so scarred that he beats on his son, and that's just the answer because he's traumatized and he's not himself, and that's just what it is. You beat on, you take your anger out. And the other one seems to, the other dad son relationship, the dad seems to be sick and everybody seems to know about it, but we don't really get to know what he's really sick with, or how he really got that way, why he's so special in the community, why everybody's, I don't know, letting the son go off with whatever he wants to do just because his dad's sick. So we don't really get to know that situation. This movie does a really bad job of like letting us into these people's lives. It just kind of lays it out there that this is what's going on. And so it's just bad filmmaking, just bad directorial stuff. Um, Otherwise, it's a very like authentically raw movie, and the people's interactions with each other is genuine because obviously we don't know anybody in this movie, and it's just how they usually probably react to each other, honestly. And probably most of these people actually know each other in real life. They just got together to make a movie, and then just the way of life in that community, in that city that we're in, like the close living quarters and the the lazy young people way of doing things. That's all very natural. So I just would have preferred a little bit more professionalism from the director of this movie. The way of making the movie was just a little out there and not what I was expecting. And I just wanted the movie to get to a point. The last movie lately, like I said, Spike Island's older, but I still feel like it could have taken away something from some movie. The latest one that is a good example is the movie called Yesterday, and like it wants to have all that stuff that of how people interact with each other over there, with accent, with wanting to make it in the music business, all this stuff that Spike Island had, but it was more professionally done. It was a bigger time, obviously, budget and bigger actors and all that stuff, and it was more recent. But something like that made before 2012, I think they could have taken a hint from and been like, oh, this is what we need to do to draw in people outside of our country, or people with that speak our kind of language. And I just would have preferred them to be a little bit more professional about it, I guess. So in the end of things, I like the music. I like the raw authenticity of this movie. I don't like the way they did the movie, and it was hard to understand people, but I got the gist of things. And so I like the music part of the movie, and I like the feelings, I like the relationships. I just didn't like some of the standard stuff that they had, like drugs and drinking, and that first scene just didn't make any sense. So I'll give a C to Spike Island, and if you're able to watch it, it's kind of an older movie. But hope somebody out there gets to watch this kind of stuff and just kind of understand why something like this isn't that great, and some of the movies that we have nowadays are really great. Just kind of get some clarity about that. So a C for Spike Island. Thanks a lot, guys. My name is Danny. If you like this or my other videos, try and give some of them a watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. Enjoy your movies. Thanks.